Welcome back to your favorite channel, the channel that goes deeper and uncovers stories the main show doesn't want you to see. Today, we're diving into a story so dark and shocking that it could change everything you thought you knew about Matt Roloff and Karen Chandler. For months, fans were told a simple story. The engagement ended, the wedding was off, life moved on. But behind the scenes, insiders are hinting at something much more chilling. What if the wedding wasn't just delayed? What if the relationship was carefully shaped into a trap, designed to corner Matt at his most vulnerable? And what if the breakup wasn't the start of the end, but the final act of a long-running manipulation? Today, we'll look at the clues, insider comments, and disturbing patterns fans are calling the ultimate Roloff con. For years, viewers watched Matt Roloff and Karen Chandler's relationship unfold. It began while Karen was still working at Roloff Farms, something that has sparked speculation among fans and even the Roloff family. After Matt's long and difficult divorce from Amy Roloff, Karen became his partner. Their relationship reached a milestone in April 2023 when Matt announced their engagement after 6 years together. He told People magazine, "Our plan is to enjoy our engagement, and we are looking forward to a simple but elegant wedding in 2024. At first, it seemed like Matt had found a happy new beginning with the woman who had become his pillar of support. But as months passed, the excitement faded. The 2024 wedding date came and went with no announcements, invitations, or venue plans. Insiders say tension was rising. It looked like the wedding might be postponed indefinitely. Matt reportedly feared getting married again after a highly public divorce. He even expressed concern on the show that marriage could change the chemistry he and Karen already had. They were living together between Arizona and Oregon, but Matt grew more reluctant to take the final step. Meanwhile, Karen appeared increasingly nervous. Selling her Oregon home was a sign she was ready to fully commit to Matt. But now, living in a house that was technically his, she faced the possibility that the wedding she had planned might never happen. Karen, known for taking charge, felt her influence slipping. Insiders say a careful and sinister strategy began to form in this atmosphere of uncertainty. At first, it was subtle. Karen complained of constant fatigue and unexplained, deep weariness. Then came pain, a persistent ache with no clear cause. Matt, always a caring partner, suggested seeing doctors, but Karen claimed she was already managing it and had appointments with a leading physician in another city. This detail, insiders say, was key. Matt couldn't attend appointments or fully understand her condition. He had to rely on the information she gave him. Karen returned with news of a biopsy, a word heavy with fear. She said waiting for results was excruciating. Matt was anxious, but tried to remain supportive. Karen's mood was one of quiet fear, preparing him for the worst. When the results came, insiders claimed the moment was a masterclass in emotional manipulation. Karen collapsed into Matt's arms, crying, and revealed she had cancer. Not just any cancer, but an aggressive, rare type with no easy cure. The prognosis was uncertain, and treatment would be difficult. Matt was devastated. He had envisioned a life with Karen and couldn't bear the thought of losing her. He promised to support her fully. But Karen insisted on handling all communications with her doctors herself. She refused Matt's offers to talk to them, saying she wanted to process the news on her own. By doing this, she became the only source of information, keeping Matt in the dark. While Matt was consumed by grief and fear, Karen's plan reportedly intensified. She told him, "My one dream, Matt," holding his hand, "is to die as your wife. I have no idea how long I have left. Let's not wait, please." Those words struck Matt like a dagger, melting away all his doubts and fears about marriage. How could he turn down the woman he loved's final request? The urgency was created by the uncertainty of her prognosis. A big, lavish wedding no longer mattered. It became a race against time. Gently but firmly, she urged him to plan a quick, modest ceremony. Being legally and emotionally married before it was too late was more important than the celebration. She presented this as her one hope, the one thing that would bring her comfort in her last days. Matt had no choice but to act. He threw himself into organizing the wedding, a hurried and solemn event, driven more by fear than by joy. Everything was going exactly as Karen had planned. She had created a crisis so severe that it overpowered all his doubts, pushing him to the altar. Others in Matt's orbit began to notice something was off while he was consumed by sadness and the wedding preparations. There were inconsistencies in the story he told. Everything was too convenient, too dramatic, and too vague. Amy Roloff became the first to sense something was wrong. Despite the complicated and tense past between her, Matt, and their son, she felt she could not ignore Matt's suffering. Out of concern, she decided to show support by sending a large bouquet of flowers to the oncology clinic where Karen claimed to be a patient. She wanted to represent peace and show that old grievances could be set aside in times of crisis. Amy called the clinic, explained the situation, and requested the flowers be delivered to Karen or held for her upcoming appointment. The nurse checked carefully, but could not find any patient by that name. They double-checked, even looked for variations or administrative errors. Finally, the nurse responded, "I'm sorry, ma'am. We have no record of a patient by that name." Amy was stunned. She double-checked the clinic's name with Matt, who confirmed it exactly. Amy felt a cold dread. This wasn't a mistake. It was a lie. She called Zach first. He had long been suspicious of Karen's influence over his father. Hearing the story, he was appalled but not surprised. He knew one call wouldn't convince Matt, who was too emotionally invested. They needed proof. Zach accessed Matt's financial accounts to check for evidence of Karen's supposed trips for treatment, flights, lodging, anything to support her claim of seeing a specialist in another city. At first, it seemed like there were charges in the right city. But looking closer, the timing matched the days Karen was supposedly undergoing chemotherapy. The charges, however, were for a luxury day spa, massages, facials, and full-day pampering packages at a 5-star resort. The woman allegedly battling a deadly disease had been enjoying a spa getaway instead. Zach was horrified. This was not just a lie, it was a deliberate, cold-hearted deception. He now had undeniable proof. Confronting Matt required caution. An outright accusation could push him further into Karen's manipulation. Amy and Zach chose a calm moment when Karen wasn't home. They expressed their love and concern, and Amy calmly recounted her call to the clinic. She repeated the nurse's statement that no patient existed under Karen's name. Matt's first reaction was denial. It must be a mistake, a privacy error, or maybe Karen used a false identity for privacy, he argued. Zach then slid the printed credit card statements across the table, showing the dates of the alleged chemotherapy alongside the spa charges, and asked for an explanation. Matt stared at the documents, pale. Massages, facials, and full-day pampering instead of treatment. The proof was clear. Together, the clinic's records and the credit card statements revealed an unimaginable betrayal. Karen had turned his deepest fears into a weapon. She had trapped him in marriage, using the fear of losing her life. Every moment of anguish, every desperate rush to the altar, had been